That's another thing I like about these side stories. The DDLC story is like whimsical and fun, and then it slaps you in the face with like, oh, psychological horror. But this one's a little bit more emotionally involved with the characters, which I really like. The club meeting is suddenly interrupted by the sound of the door, causing Monica and Sayori to turn their heads. Ah, so this is a continuation of Trust. The door opens halfway, then stops. A face peeks inside. A face that seems familiar. Hey, Yuri! Sayori's eyes widen, recognizing the girl. She very conspicuously mouths to Monica. Ah, their first club member, outside of Sayori. It's her! It's the girl! It's true, the girl standing in the doorway is none other than the girl Sayori had come across reading alone in the classroom. Thanks to Monica leaving a flyer on her desk, it seems she found her way to the club. Are you here for the literature club by any chance? Am I in the wrong place? No, you're not. This is the literature club. Please come inside. The girl fully steps into the door but continues standing against the wall, avoiding eye contact. Sayori continues to fail to contain her excitement. It's happening! Oh my gosh! Thank you so much for coming. Sorry it's a little empty. I'm Monica, and this is Sayori, and we run the literature club. Even though it's just us so far, but... What's your name, by the way? I'd like to join your club. Bit of a weird name. Already? Wait, really? Are you sure? I mean, I should be good enough. Everyone is welcome here. You don't have to be good enough. Oh. Do you want to have a seat? We'd love to get to know you. The girl nods, sliding over a nearby desk and gently sitting down. So, what's your name? Yuri. I'm Sayori, and this is Monica. Sayori, I already... Nice to meet you. Do you like fantasy? Like books? Yuri looks at Monica. Fantasy is cool. Yeah, have you ever heard of Annabelle Dupont? Can't say that I have. Oh, well, she's my favorite author. I'm on her 5th book, and it's just... Yuri grins and presses her knuckles against her cheeks in joy. You can borrow my books, I won't mind. You're really in for an incredible experience. Monica stammers, caught completely off guard by Yuri taking control of the conversation. She glances sideways at Sayori, silently asking for help. I'd love to. It sounds like you're really into them, so they must be great. I'm so happy I found this club. Oh, I'm so stupid. I left all my other books in my locker. I should have brought them. Yuri quickly stands up. I'll be right back. I'll go get them for you. You probably only need to bring one for now. So Yuri nervously says that, noting to herself the considerable heftiness of the book that Yuri set down on her desk. Was it like an encyclopedia? True. Okay, I'll go get the first one then. Yuri exits the classroom in a flash, leaving Monica and Sayori silently exchanging glances. Oh my gosh, I wasn't prepared for this. How do I handle someone so intense? I have, like, no experience with fantasy, except maybe stuff that I read when I was a kid. That's probably like a joke compared to what she's into. I'm sure it'll be fine. In fact, I think it's pretty neat that we have different people who are into different kinds of literature. It'll be fun to learn from each other. Yeah, I don't disagree, but what if this is her only interest? Does it kind of seem like that? Monica, don't you think you should be a little more optimistic? We have a new club member. There shouldn't be room for anything but being happy. I'm excited to get to know her more, aren't you? Yeah, I guess you're right. Sorry for being so hasty. I just got really anxious all of a sudden. It's because you're afraid of not being able to take the lead. What the heck? It's kinda scary how you can point things out like that, Sayori. I just like learning what makes people happy or sad. Yeah. Hey, you know what? You'd probably be great at helping Yuri feel more comfortable here. Maybe you could take a break from helping me with the administrative stuff and just focus on spending time with her. Yay! That's exactly what I want to do. Besides, Sayuri lowers her voice, I'm probably gonna need all the time I can get. She taps her finger against the dauntingly chunky book Yuri left sitting on the desk. Right afterwards, the door opens to reveal Yuri's return. I'm back. Her breath is slightly heavy, which, combined with her short time gone, indicates she might have run at least part of the way. She makes her way back to Sayori and sets the book down on her desk. Just as Sayori feared, the book Yuri brought for her is just about equal in size to the one already on Yuri's desk. Well, there are probably a few things you should know before getting started on it. There are some things that are more explained in other books that can take place in the same universe, so going from over these would be good to keep you from getting confused at the start. Sayuri nervously interjects. Well, I was thinking that maybe today we could just get to know each other a little more. You know, I think, like, if we're gonna be reading together, then I would like that. From across the room, Monica smiles and nods at Sayuri while Yuri isn't looking. Oh, okay. Yuri sits down and looks at her book, then glances around the room, showing no indication that she has anything more to add. So, what made you decide to join this club? Well, I like reading, so I was immediately interested. I had no idea that someone was starting a literature club. Well, that's my fault since I hadn't been paying attention to any of the other club recruitment advertisements. I only found out because she shoved a fly in your face. Monica came into my club room and put the flyer on my desk. Suddenly, Yuri's face darkens and she shakes her head at herself. I was so stupid. I got too nervous and couldn't even look up, so she just walked out. It took me several days just to come here because I was afraid that Monica told everyone how inconsiderable I was. But I decided that I was probably irrational. Yeah, you were definitely irrational, Yuri. Come on, Monica wouldn't do that. Right? Wait! No, that was totally my fault. I felt so bad about interrupting you that I just felt like walking out. I was actually really hoping that you'd come and stop by, Yuri. Yuri exhales in relief. I always seem to interpret things as the worst possible scenario. That is definitely me. I need to grow out of that. Well, I was really nervous to come here for some other reasons too. Such as there being too many people. Not that I mind that much, but I really have a hard time getting to meet a large number of new people at once. So it's actually amazing that it's just the two of you. I definitely came at the right time. Aw, that makes me so happy. I'm proud of you for working up the courage to come. Yuri smiles warmly to herself. I never really had the privilege of sharing my interests with others before. It's so hard to find others who are into the same things as I am, except online. So I thought the literature club would provide a chance for me to do that. What kind of other things are you up to, Yuri? Genres? I don't know, just anything. Even if it's just not literature. Oh, just things you'd think are dumb. Sayori pauses, a look of concern on her face. How about I tell you about something I'm into, and you can tell me about something you're into? I suppose that would be okay. Okay. Well, I'm pretty into, like, crafty things. Like making cute collages or decorating things like cards or jewelry boxes. My room is always cluttered with random stuff because I keep buying things to make gifts for my friends. But then I put it off until the last minute. So yeah, that's something kind of silly that I'm into. You sound quite creative. Not that much. It's just that you'd be surprised by how much you can do with scissors and glue and stuff. So, I have to share something that I'm into now, right? Sayori nods. Well, I guess I'm into nature. I love nature. Monica, I'm gonna start a nature club. No, you're not. You're sticking with me right now. I'm not. Oh yeah? Well, I hereby appoint you as vice president of the literature club. Yeah, let's see you get out of this one. There, now you're stuck with me, Sayori. Oh, the horror. Hey, don't give me responsibilities. Oh, I'm sorry, Yuri. I interrupted you. Go ahead. It's fine. Yuri pauses, feeling awkward after having gotten cut off. I like going out into the woods or to the park. Just places where you can walk or sit and not have people around. It's peaceful. You know, I kinda like doing that every now and then too. Just on my lonesome, walking around. Just nice to kind of remove myself from everything that matters and letting my racing mind operate autonomously for a while. When do you like to do that? It just depends on my mood. That's kind of me when I'm playing Yume Nikki. You guys should play that too. After school, on the weekends, whenever I feel like I need it. Wow, I feel like I never would have had the time to do something like that. Well, you are very busy, Monica. I don't blame you. I find we have a lot more time than we think we do, if we don't let it slip through your fingers. The three continued their conversation, led primarily by Sayori, but with Monica chiming in every now and then as well. Monica had intended to leave it to Sayori and focus on her own work, but she found it difficult not to join in. Before they knew it, the end of the day was upon them once more. Oh, it looks like we'll be wrapping up for today. So, are you two going to be starting that book the next club meeting? That's the plan! I'm so excited! Sayori beams. Yuri collects her things. Once packed, Yuri wordlessly waves to Sayori and Monica with a gentle smile. Bye! As Yuri exits, Sayori enthusiastically returns her farewell. Once again, Sayori and Monica are left in the club room. Sayori, you're a lifesaver! I didn't do anything. I just talked. Still. Besides, it really lifted my mood. It feels really nice when I can put my energy towards other people like that. She's really excited to be included, you know? It made me happy. Well, there's no doubt in my mind that she had a great time here with you engaging her. How are you feeling about starting the book with her next meeting? I'm kinda scared, but I think she'll be happy as long as I'm trying my best. I think you'll do great. After the surprise of a new club member, it seems like everyone has their spirits lifted with something new to look forward to. Another school day ends. Swallowing her anxiety, Yuri makes her way to the club room, expecting to be the last to arrive. As she opens the door, she's surprised to find only Sayori in the club room. Huh? Where's Monica? It's club time again! Monica went to the computer lab, so it's just us today. Is that okay? Yuri silently nods, unable to make eye contact. I'm sorry about yesterday. Sayori tilts her head, unsure of exactly what Yuri's talking on about. Well, I mean, the way I got overly excited to share my books and how you had to stop me so we could talk first. It was so inconsiderate of me. I got too excited and forgot to think about everyone else in the club, so... Yuri, you didn't do anything wrong. I thought it was really cute how excited you were. Relish in your passion, Yuri. Well, still, I think I changed my mind about the book. We don't have to read. Huh? Why? Because I know that you were just humoring me anyway. In retrospect, it's rather obvious that nobody was truly interested. I mean, doesn't mean we have to not do it. If you like it so much, then it must be worth sharing. I already decided I'll join the club, so you don't have to try so hard to entice me. That's not what I was doing. Yeah, we're genuinely interested in what you're passionate about, Yuri. Come on, you can trust us. Trust. Well, the thing is, we don't have any club activities yet. I mean, Monica and I have just been working recruitment stuff mostly. So I just started... It just sounded like something fun we could do together. Reading your books. You know, as a club activity. That would be okay, right? Why are we being so resistant to this anyway? It's exactly what I wanted in the first place, and you're being so nice about it. Maybe it's because it's so alien to you. Have people been nice to you, Yuri? Maybe the reason why she's like shut off from other people is because they've been mean to her in the past. Or something, I don't know. You can open up with us, you know, Yuri. Just tell me if there's anything I can do to help you feel more comfortable here. So Yuri pulls up her desk against Yuri's and sits next to her. The book in question is already on Yuri's desk. Peering over, Sayori reads the first cover of the book. Dusk Bell. Part 1 of the Everlast Saga. Sounds fancy. It's Dusk Bell by Annabelle. Sorry, I'm ready now. Alright, I should probably get some paper. Yuri grabs a spiral notebook of hers and tears out a few sheets of paper. Wait, how come you need paper? Oh, it's useful to draw things out sometimes, like maps, timelines, family trees, or just for taking notes. Wow, she's really dedicated to the materials she's reading. Keeping notes. She's gonna be a good Wikipedia editor. Yes, that's an effective strategy. Exactly. I'm sure that it will be especially useful for someone new to the genre. Ooh. Just prepare yourself to be overwhelmed, Sayori. Hang in there, you can do it. I believe in you, Sayori. But thinking about it, she decides it's probably for the best that it did. Well, I'm not used to having company like this, but I'll try to help make it as accessible as possible. I trust you. You're like super smart. Oh, please. Yuri tries to dismiss the compliment, but she can't hide her smile and light blush. You can't generalize intelligence. I'm only smart at things I have a lot of experience with. But you're still smart, Yuri. We can't deny that. I mean, we could, but we'd be the idiots. Contrarily, I'm awful at anything involving real people. It should be evident enough from the 2 days I've spent here so far. So in my eyes, it's everyone else who comes off as smart. I mean, we all have our strengths and weaknesses. Doesn't make you any more dumb. No! Sayori rubs her shoulder against Yuri's. You're such a sweetheart when you're not being shy. And anyway, would you like to get started? Okay. After the minor diversion between them, the two get back on track with their planned club activity. Yuri begins to guide Sayori through the basics of the fantasy world her story takes place in. The more of it she details, the races, factions, histories, elements of magic, the more questions Sayori seems to have. But despite Sayori's expectations, Yuri eloquently guides her through it in a way such that it is fun to follow along. It becomes evident that the world-building aspect of the story, not just the story itself, is one that Yuri finds her passion leaning towards. How do people come up with this stuff? You know, I wonder that as well. How can J.R.R. Tolkien come up with such a world as Middle-earth? Man, what a legendary author all around. What kind of writing? Oh, like poetry and stuff like that. The things I write are like just putting down the feelings that come into my head, you know? Well, this must be so much planning and hard work. Ah, you're into poetry? I think there's an appendix that includes some of the kingdom's written works, like poetry and folk songs. No way! Yuri giggles, filling Sayori's heart with happiness when she realizes it's the first time she's heard Yuri laugh. It means Yuri must be having fun. Anyway, I think we can get started reading now if you're ready. Okay, but I can't read very fast. Oh, that's fine. I'm very patient. Patience is something I pride myself in. You know, that's true. Out of all the club members, Yuri, very patient. So Yuri jots Yuri is patient into her notes. Hey, that's for the book. Haha, I'm just kidding. But I'm glad you're patient because I need that sometimes. A lot of times. So Yuri flips to the first few pages of the book, getting past the table of contents. Okay, chapter 1. The room becomes silent as the two of them begin to read. But the silence only lasts for a moment before Sayori speaks up again. What does vindicated mean? Oh, well, in this context, it essentially means that he was proven innocent. It's okay to ask questions, right? Of course. Yeah, Yuri's like the walking dictionary. Are these footnotes? Mm-hmm. A lot of the dialogue has cultural references that require explanation to be understood. The two continue reading. Yuri's relaxed expression remains unchanged. Meanwhile, Sayori's expression goes tense as she tries to make her way through the dense text. Up until now, their expressions have been reversed, with Sayori easily navigating social interactions and Yuri struggling in them. But the tables have turned. Wait, are they talking about the past right now or the present? Where? Right here. They're talking about the past. These paragraphs are describing a flashback that Barnes is having. But they didn't tell me that. It's implied from the context. Sayori rubs her temples. Two of them continue, with Sayori asking fewer questions. Hey, she's getting the hang of it. She begins to understand the value in the notes as she finds herself referring to them somewhat often, and even adding to them. But her reduction in questions comes not from her getting used to reading, but rather from her fearing that she'll come across as stupid. Oh, okay. At last, Sayori reaches the end of the first chapter. I think we can stop here for now. Whew, okay. Sayori takes a deep breath and closes what little of the book she's gone through so far. So, what are your thoughts up to this point? It's a very fancy book. I really like the world building. There's just one question. How long did it take for you to read this, Yuri? Am I doing well so far? I'm not sure I understand. Well, I don't know. When it takes me so long to read and understand things, it makes me feel really dumb. But I really like how you get into it. It makes me want to keep going, and to keep doing my best so I can see it the way that you do. Relaxation in Yuri's expression fades. I see. I see. Yuri quietly gathers her things. We can continue tomorrow, right? Yuri pauses and shakes her head. We can do something else tomorrow. But... I'm sorry. Wait, sorry for what? I don't understand. Hey, you're not bothering us, Yuri. We'll be happy to read with you. Come on, Yuri. I don't want to do this anymore, that's all. I'm sorry that I made you. Aw, Yuri, no! You weren't making me. Yuri's left alone with her words. Oh no, and then Sayori's gonna blame herself for making Yuri sad. No, man. You're still just getting accustomed to each other, that's all. How did this happen? We were having fun just a few seconds ago. It's my fault. I said something stupid and hurt her. I should have just told her that I enjoyed it. Monica trusted me with this. Oh, she's blaming herself. It's the only thing I'm good at, and I still messed it up. What if she doesn't want to come back? Drowned in guilt, Sayori stares blankly at her desk, spread with notes. The books sits next to them. Right. If she wasn't coming back, then she wouldn't have left the books here, right? Unless she just forgot to take it with her. This is horrible! Was it really because she thought I wasn't enjoying our time together? Or maybe she wasn't enjoying our time together because I'm not good enough? I probably let her down so much by having trouble following along. Yeah, I'm sure if I was smarter, she would be having so much more fun. I need to do better for her. Aww. Okay. Well, I guess we'll drop in at Understanding Part 2. No, Sayori, please don't hammer yourself anymore. Don't fall into that pit trap again. Yuri just, has a hard time accustoming to people, and she blames herself. They're both blaming themselves. It's nobody's fault. Anxiety courses through her relentlessly. Will Yuri show up today? Sitting at a desk, she stamps her feet in an attempt to calm down. Why am I letting this affect me so much? I'm doing everything I can to make Yuri happy, but my best wasn't good enough. But it's still my best. But I'm letting everyone else down. I'm always just a disappointment. Hurts to hear you say that, Sayuri. She continues to wrestle with her own self-deprecating thoughts. Every tiny noise causes her to lift her head in anticipation of Yuri's arrival. We could really use Monica right now. Where did she go? Minutes pass, and nobody enters the room. Wait. Computer club. Is the computer room where she got her epiphany? It's interesting. Not Yuri or Monica. Nobody. Gosh, I'm so late. Why did I offer to help those other students with their work? I'm such a pushover sometimes. It's gonna leave such a bad impression on new club members like Yuri if I'm not the first one there. Monica rounds the corner, approaching the club room. As she does so... Yuri? Ah! Yuri jumps at the sound of Monica's voice. She's sitting outside the club room, against the wall next to the door. Embarrassed, she quickly closes the book she was reading and stands up. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry I'm late. You didn't have to wait outside for me. The door to the club room is open. It's not... Yuri stammers, unable to explain herself. She peers inside the club room through the window, then looks away. Actually, I was wondering if I could help you today instead. Huh? Me? With club publicity stuff? Yeah. Monica is utterly confused. Why is Yuri asking this all of a sudden when she was so eager to spend time with Sayuri before? Did they not get along after all? Monica looks into the club room herself to see Sayuri sitting alone inside. Okay. It's kind of a simple job, but I'd be happy for you to tag along. Me too. Monica is worried, but she finds it difficult to insert herself into whatever conflict that may have arisen. It's a little ironic she realizes that she could be so conflict avoidant after having been in the debate club. Okay, let's take a walk together. I just have to make copies of this new flyer, then go around to the billboards and replace the old ones with the new ones. Yuri nods, and the two set off. Oh, you're gonna just leave Sayuri there? Well, it would be pretty awkward if Sayuri tagged along. And yeah. The two walk in silence. Without Sayuri, Monica finds it quite difficult to strike up conversation. Gotta get used to it, Monica. How's everything been going? Fine. That's good. Neither of them follow up with anything more. Monica tenses up at the stilted conversation. How the heck does Sayuri do it? Sorry, I didn't see you yesterday. I went straight to the computer lab to work on the flyers. Okay. Sayuri told me. What did you two end up doing yesterday? Just some reading. Oh, I'm glad. It's really starting to feel more like a literature club now. Yeah. It's kind of funny. I felt so intimidated at first when I heard about the kinds of reading you were into. But it's kind of stupid of me because I'm just intimidated by things I'm not good at. And it's just silly to assume that everyone who comes into the club will just have the same interests as me. But it's so cool that you were able to get Sayuri into it. It's like the club is working. I'm really happy about that. She's not into it. Huh? She's not into it, and I'm stupid for forcing her onto her. Yuri falls silent again, as if she started her thought train, but can't figure out how to continue it. Did something happen? Yuri sighs. No, it's just me. Yuri pauses. I'm thinking. A moment pauses in silence, and Yuri shakes her head. I shouldn't be complaining to you all of a sudden. Don't be silly. I don't think you're complaining. I just want to make you feel more welcome. If it's important to that, then you can tell me anything. Well, I do feel welcome. Too welcome, I guess. Not an issue with the club. It's an issue with me. So I feel wrong to inconvenience you with it. Monica pauses and thinks. Well, what if we put it this way? It's my job as president to understand the needs of the club members, right? We're going to have all kinds of people join this club. Hopefully, anyway. And learning about the diverse needs and interests of everyone will help me come up with club activities that everyone can be happy with. That everyone can be happy with? Not just only some people? Of course! I had to be looking out for everyone. Otherwise, what kind of club would that be? I see. Yuri looks a little more relaxed. It signals to Monica that switching from a sympathetic approach to a pragmatic one was a good choice. Each individual truly does have their own needs. Okay. Yuri takes a deep breath. I'm a really weird and awkward person. I've accepted that about myself. I just don't know how to, I guess, connect with other people. I mean, Monica sort of suffers the same kind of problem as well, connecting with other people. Maybe you two can really get along. Help each other up. How is it so easy for everyone else? How do you just make conversation about any arbitrary topic? Hey, don't worry, I find trouble with that as well. My parents, with their friends, they can talk for ages. I don't know how they do it. I can talk for hours about the things that I'm into. Unfortunately, so much that I don't know when to stop. But for anything else, I just have no idea what to say. I can relate. So I understand that about myself. I'm just not good with people. I can't help it. I'm kind of like that when I talk about YouTube or video games. I go on and on, but no one just gets me, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of awkward. So it feels like whenever I'm confronted with a new social situation, I'm either ignored, or made fun of, or taken pity on. And Sayori falls into that third category. What? Hold on, you're saying that Sayori is taking pity on you? Yuri nods. I just want to be treated like a normal person. If you don't like me or you don't connect with my interests, then just tell me. I can accept that and move on. Sayori is too nice to me. I'm so stupid for not realizing that she would just go along with whatever I pushed onto her. You know what? That is an interesting point. There is such a thing as forcing yourself to be too nice, where it can be sort of like condescending or patronizing, or pitying. It almost knocks them down a peg and diminishes any sort of, pride they might have. Yeah, like what Yuri says. Do you see me as a person? Do you see me? Nobody deserves to put themselves through that kind of discomfort just because they pity some weirdo who doesn't know how to make friends. Now, that being said, it doesn't mean that they have ill intentions. It's nice to be, nice to people who find it hard to connect to you. I guess it just requires a more careful approach to some. It's the worst feeling. I hate it. Yuri's sharp words cut through the tense air. Somewhere in the middle of the conversation, the two stopped short in the hallway, prioritizing the conversation over the original task. Monica looks at Yuri. Yuri only looks down with her fist clenched. I think you should tell her that. I could never say that to someone's face. It's pathetic. Sayori is different. Making people happy is the most important thing to her. I'm sure that's all she's trying to do. So if you're able to explain to her what makes you happy, then she'll do anything to make it happen. That's the problem. What kind of friendship has one person always trying to cater to the other person's weird needs? I'm sorry, I'm making myself sound so No, I think I'm starting to understand. Monica hesitates to finish her thought out aloud. It's something that Sayori would be able to say better. Sayori is someone who would give anyone however much kindness they need in order to smile. But Yuri, who has difficulty accepting kindness, must be driving Sayori to be even more observative in their kindness, further exuberating the matter. Neither person is to blame, but it's an issue that can't be resolved without them understanding each other better. Sayori wants to be your friend, I promise that. It's okay for different people to have different needs. I mean, Sayori she has her own needs too. But good friends work together. It can be what they need for each other. You learn how to adapt. You just have to have good communication and talk about it. I don't have good communication. Yuri stops and shakes her head. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. My head is just so resistant to everything. I'm pushing such a kind person away from me because of it. Yuri pauses to think. So tired of the cycle of creating for myself. I think I'm so afraid of people pushing me away that I just push them away first. How thoughtless and immature of me. Yuri takes a deep breath and exhales. I didn't mean for this to turn into a whole venting session. Nah, this is good, Yuri. Get it out, so we can understand each other better. This is how you communicate. But I understand now that I just need to communicate with her. You're totally fine, Yuri. It's for the club, remember? You're just helping making the club a better place for everyone. Yeah. Yuri falls silent again. She looks like she wants to say something. This kind of critical thinking is something that I'm really bad at. You know, about people. So thank you. Anytime, Yuri. Monica smiles at Yuri. For a moment, Yuri finds herself to meet Monica's gaze, returning a shy smile of her own. Hey, we're making steady steps. No need to go gung-ho. Yuri and Monica finish replacing the old flyers with the new ones. More accurately, Monica mostly did the work while Yuri followed along. But as the club room once again draws near, so does Yuri's confrontation. I can't do this. Yes, you can. It'll be great. Yuri sighs and shakes her head. Oh, I'm never gonna feel confident enough. I just have to do it. If I don't do it now, I never will. That's a steadfast resolve you can have. You're not just gonna wait outside, are you? I can take a walk. Want me to get you some coffee or something? Actually, I prefer tea. Refined tastes. I like to make my own though, so please don't worry about it. Although, I suppose that one downside of reading here in the club rather than at home is I don't get to drink tea while reading. Sorry, I guess that has nothing to do with this. You know what, now that you mention it, I bet we could get permission to keep stuff for tea in the club room, and that's where we get the tea set from. You could use like an electric kettle to heat up water, right? Would that really be possible? Another alternative is that you get like a thermo. You put hot water into it, and you just pour it out when you need it. Yuri smiles and nods at the thought. Well, I'll be back in a bit. Good luck. Ooh, okay. Here we go, Yuri. We're about to approach the boss room. Monica waves at Yuri, then turns around and departs down the hallway as Yuri's smile fades once more. A moment of daydreaming about tea isn't enough to save her from the anxiety of the task that lies before her. Dude, I would clam up at this point as well. Yuri, you've got this. I'm here for you, okay? Taking one more deep breath, Yuri timidly opens the clubroom door. Yuri? Wait, hold on, no, I'm not done yet. So Yuri shuffles a bunch of papers around. Yuri stammers. Her words suddenly get caught in her throat. At that moment, she realizes how Sayori has been spending her afternoon. I wasn't expecting you to come today. I was really hoping to make it all the way through the next chapter first. But I got most of the way through it. Then look! Sayuri holds up a sheet of paper. It's a page of notes beautifully produced with annotations, categories, and even color coding. Yeah, Sayuri's got it in her to adapt. But it's not what Yuri wants. As Yuri sees it, her expression shifts from anxiety to despair. Because you think you've pushed her to this limit? I was afraid you were getting disappointed in me, so I've been trying really hard. Stop. Yuri presses her fist against her forehead. Please, stop. I can't take this. Yuri? Yuri's voice quivered in shock after having received the exact opposite response she was expecting. I'm sorry. Sayuri looks away in guilt. Did I do something wrong? I don't understand. So I did something wrong. Please tell me. This is your chance, Yuri. No. It's me. I keep putting myself in these situations where people are afraid to treat me normally. If you don't like this kind of reading, it's okay. Please tell me. I don't need to be treated differently just because I'm weird. Everyone's weird, Yuri. There is not a single normal person, and if there is, well, you're boring. But I don't treat you differently. I just want my friends to be happy. So I thought that if we did something together that you really like, I don't want your pity. Why did I do that? Yuri sinks to her knees. Her voice squeaks. I'm sorry. Tears of guilt and self-loathing begin to stream down her face. This isn't how it was supposed to go. But hey, maybe the most blunt words are just the best, you know? You don't have to fluff it or sugarcoat it. You just say it how it is. Why is it so hard just to articulate your thoughts? Why do you end up pushing everyone away from you? Yuri's words pound with internal accusations as she shuts her eyes, unable to face Sayuri or the rest of the world. She should just leave, just escape from here before Monica sees her like this, and before Sayuri tells Monica what she did. But before Yuri can put any strength into her legs, she feels a warm pair of arms gently wrapping around her from behind. Aww, hug energy. It's okay. Sayuri whispers in a soothing voice. It's okay. It's okay. Overcome by despair, Yuri finds herself unable to protest or pull away from Sayuri's kind gesture. Sayuri sniffles, breathing heavily through her clenched throat, trying with all her willpower to control herself. I understand. I understand the things you're feeling in your head are different from the things you're trying to say. I know that it must be what you're feeling right now. I promise I understand that. So I'll give you as much time as you need. Yeah, Sayuri's been there. When you're ready, just tell me your feelings and we can talk about them together, okay? Sayuri sniffles again and nods her head. She gives herself a minute to compose her thoughts, then speaks while steadying her voice. I think that I've gotten so used to people being weirded out by me that it feels like anyone who's nice to me is just doing it out of pity. I'm so horrible with people. It makes me not want to believe that someone can actually like me for who I am. Yuri pauses, but Sayuri doesn't interrupt. Rather, she waits for Yuri to continue. That's a good listener. I got so excited when I joined the literature club. I thought it was finally my chance to make friends through my interests. Because my interests are the only things I know how to talk about. It's all I have going for me. But whenever I catch myself going overly obsessive in front of other people, it's like I'm making a fool of myself. I hate myself for it. Ultimately, I just wanted to be treated like a normal person. But how am I supposed to expect that when I can't behave like one? I just want to learn how to get along with people and stop ruining things for myself. You know what? Anyone who judges anybody else for being different is ruining things for themselves. You've got all these possible traits and even flaws that make a person so likable, so human, and they want to take that away? You should revel in your unique traits. Makes you, you. And if they can't accept that, then they aren't worth you. Yuri finishes her thoughts, feeling more steady after having gotten them out. Sayori, who can feel Yuri's breath rise and fall from her arms, realizes that as well. Thank you for helping me understand you a little better. You know, you were so great at helping me while we were eating, so I'll help you with the things that you need too. But I feel like that would just be frustrating for you with how much patience I require sometimes. That sounds kind of familiar. I couldn't stop worrying about that while we were eating. I was so afraid that you'd get frustrated with me. But I would never do that. I did my best to reassure you by mentioning how I have a lot of patience. Yeah, I know, but my rational fears just won't be quiet sometimes. I'm sure it's the same for you, right? Yeah. Irrational fears. Well, you know, there's no way that you could frustrate me because I already like you as the person that you are. I know you said that you have a hard time believing that, but I promise it's true. You don't have to be a social person for people to like you. Just be you. I think you're really considerate in your own way, you know? Worrying so much about people's feelings? Well, kinda weird. It's a literature club. It's the best part that we're all so different and we have different interests. Like about the book. I'm reading it because I want to. I promise it's all I really want. It's a bit of a struggle, but try not to mistake that for me not enjoying it. I mean, we could never discover new things if we didn't try them first, right? I want to learn the reasons that you love it so much. And in the end, if it's not for me, then I can just say that, but I'll be glad that I tried and learned more about you. Plus, you're like super duper smart. And I want that to rub off on me. Yuri fights back a smile at that comment. Already, the heavy atmosphere surrounding her seems to have evaporated through the caress of Sayori's arms. Your hair is so pretty. I always wanted long hair, but I was awful at taking care of it, so I just cut it all off. Yuri's tension relaxes. For once, she feels okay just listening, rather than worrying so much about saying the right thing. Sayori, sensing Yuri's comfort, lets her rest. It must be so difficult for her to feel relaxed around other people. But if the literature club can make it happen, it's something that she deserves to experience. Well then, based on my understanding of your feelings, I suppose I wouldn't mind if we were to continue reading. That's what I wanted to hear. But we can stop at any time. If you truly don't like it, please be honest about it. I won't be offended. Of course. I'm not gonna judge anything this early on though. So we'll just see what happens. Oh, and it's not good to touch people without their consent first. Oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. Oh, you didn't. I mean, I suppose it was kind of nice. I was just saying. I'm back! Monica's back. Hey Monica, were you eavesdropping? It's fine if you were. It's just, it was a little too convenient that you came in right now. I haven't seen you, like, at all recently. So Yuri trots over to Monica and gives her some hog energy. Okay. She whispers loudly, "Can I hug you?" Sure, Sayori. Sayori wraps her arms around Monica. Hog energy! Oh yeah, Yuri. Might be good to know. Yuri can be a bit of a hog monster. Hey, don't call me a monster. Artemis is a monster. If he inherits the kingdom, it would spell disaster. Monica perplexedly looks between the two of them, then smiles. Well, I'm glad you've been enjoying your reading so far. It's like our first real activity as the literature club. How about the poem writing? Was that not the first activity? Or have you not, like, made it official yet? About that. Well, you've been so patient with exploring my interests. I think that it would be inconsiderate of me to not return the favor to you and learn about the things that you like. Yeah! Do you like poetry? Yuri smiles. Oh man, that is cool. That's good. I like these side stories. Respect. Okay, interesting. And it will feature Natsuki and Moniker. Okay. Got some new pictures. Oh. Interesting. It's like the word kawaii during the poem game. Now we have, what is it? DDLC plus Yuri. We got Natsuki CG. Oh, the heartbreaking CG, yeah. Secrets. What is in this secrets? What do I do? Backgrounds. Oh, what is this? A sketch of Sayori's initial design. Interesting. Okay. We got new music. Nice. Okay. So, I think I can conclude it here. Yeah. Yeah, I'm loving these side stories. You know, getting to know the club members a little more. And then you've just got Ionaro's little like harem story. Kind of makes him seem a little selfish in retrospect. Right, you know. Get into the literature club, you know. It's cool that you want to hang out with these girls and get to know them better a little more, but thou hast stepped onto sacred grounds. Oh yeah. I can't wait to see what the other side stories are left. It says that there's what, 6? So are these the only ones? Or are there 3 more and they're in parts? Who knows? I guess I can give a last reflection. I guess when it comes to difference in terms of personalities or people, patience and good communication is needed. But it'll only work out right if you're genuinely interested in getting to know the person a little more. Otherwise, you're just inclined to judge them or run away from them because you're scared of them or yourself. You know, could be projection as well. And in regards to the pity part, yeah, it's an interesting point. Like, you can show the person kindness, but until you understand how they're like, you run the risk of putting them off or making them feel even more awkward. It was good. It was good to see Sayori and Yuri get to know each other a little more and come to a better understanding of what they want from each other when it comes to being friends. Anyways, I'm going to edit this video. My subscribers are probably going to get mad at me, but that is fine. Look, I committed to this. I need to see it to the very end. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you later. Peace.